Hi guys, so in this video I'm going to be doing a deep dive into this Shopify store called walkingcanes.com. They've done pretty well over the last 2.5 years in terms of SEO. They have around 16,000 visitors a month in organic traffic, and I'm guessing they're making at least $25,000 a month in revenue from SEO. They're ranking for things like walking canes for men, wood canes, women's canes, extra tall canes, things like that. So yeah, just a bunch of walking canes keywords. And in this video, we're basically going to investigate how they're getting the SEO results that they're getting. So let's get started. The first thing I want to look at is technical SEO. So the first thing I always look at is internal product page links, because if you're working with Shopify, out of the box, these internal product page links on the collection pages are actually broken, in a sense that the product pages are actually nested in whichever collection they come from. To show you an example, I got to the carbon fiber triple wound cane from the men's canes collection page. If I visit the same product from the carbon fiber collection page, then it's actually a different URL, right? But in the end, this is actually just the same product. And if you view the page source, you can see that they both have canonicals pointing to the original product page, which is actually this without the collection page. So this is problematic because the URL changes depending on which collection page you're coming from. So your internal product page links are different all over the site. Ideally, you use this link because this is actually the original product page and this is the original URL. So what you want to do is you want to edit the theme to remove this part of the URL so that all your internal links are pointing to the original product page URL. It's a pretty simple fix. You just have to go through your theme and remove that part of the URL on your product grids, and yeah, that's an easy fix. Okay, next, I want to look at breadcrumbs. So it doesn't look like they have any breadcrumbs on their collection or product pages. You want to have breadcrumbs because it makes it, number one, easier for the user to go back to the collection page they came from. And number two, it's easier for the crawler to actually see the hierarchy of your website from home page to collection page to sub collection page to the product page. And the easier you make it for the search engine to crawl your website, the higher you're likely to rank. So yeah, I recommend adding some breadcrumbs to these pages. So you can see immediately there are a bunch of technical SEO issues, and despite that, they're still ranking pretty well. Product and blog tags. So you basically want to remove any product and blog tags from the index. You can check by simply doing a search like this. And you can see that none of the tag pages are actually on the index. So they've already removed those from the index, which is a good thing. So they did a pretty good job doing that. Next, I want to look at the auto-generated collection pages. I actually saw some on the homepage. So pages like best sellers, like this, should not be indexed because they're not really going to rank for anything. They're not going to be ranking for any keywords. So they're just a waste of crawl budget. It's just content that's not valuable at all. So you shouldn't be indexing content like this or content like your all collections pages, like pages that Shopify generate automatically. These should also be removed from the index. These aren't large issues because this is a fairly small site, but if you're working on larger sites with like thousands of products, then these can actually cause some issues. Okay, and that's it for technical SEO. Let's now move on to navigation and site structure. So let's take a look at their navigation and site structure. I'd like to first look at the homepage. So looking at the homepage, this looks pretty good. They're showing their sale, their January sale, and then they have their best sellers. Ideally, though, you should be featuring your most important collection pages at the top of your homepage. And the reason for that is your homepage gets the most backlinks, right? So it has the most link juice. It's the most powerful page on your website. And you want to make the most of that link juice by featuring your key collection pages at the top of your homepage. That way, that link juice flows to those collection pages. So instead of featuring these individual products up here, which either have really low search volume or even no search volume at all, you want to feature your key collection pages like men's canes, women's canes, wood canes, carbon fiber canes here at the top of the homepage. Same here, featuring another group of products. Ideally, you feature your collection pages like this, men's canes and women's canes, and a link to these collection pages. That way that the link juice flows through to them and boosts their rankings. Okay. And yeah, that's it for the homepage. Ideally, you also have some blog posts here. Again, it just helps the link juice flow to these blog posts, and these blog posts probably interlink to your collection and product pages. It just makes the link juice flow throughout your website much easier. Okay. I see that you do have the collection and product pages on the footer, which is pretty good, but again, links from the boilerplate, like the header or the footer, actually not as strong as links from the homepage. So ideally, you feature your key collection pages on the homepage. Okay. Next, I want to look at the main menu. So this main menu is actually really, really good. They feature their key collection pages right on the menu, men's canes and women's canes. I imagine that these have really high search volume and these are really valuable keywords to rank. And then they have like a larger menu here where it's by style, by handle. You have wood canes here, carbon fiber canes, adjustable canes, designer canes. These all probably have some decent search volume, and it's good that you're featuring them on the main menu. Okay. Next, let's look at some of the collection pages. Okay. So the first thing I like to look at on collection pages is the three kings, H1, the URL, and the title. We want to make sure that they're consistent and that they have the target keyword in them. So this, we have the H1, men's canes, the URL has men's canes, and the title has men's canes. So that's actually really good, right? So you can see that the three kings are optimized for the target keyword. Next, we want to look for descriptions. And because this collection page for men's canes is a valuable collection page, it can rank for the keyword men's canes. We want to add more content to the page. And the reason we want to add more content to the page is because we've seen a correlation between the amount of content on a page and its rankings. More content usually means higher rankings. And the reason for that is because it increases relevance. And because there's more content on the page, it gives the search engine more context as to what the page is about, allowing it to rank the page higher. So normally we have a shorter description on top, like just 2 lines explaining what the collection is about, and then a longer description at the bottom, talking about men's canes, how to pick them, which is best, like why you should go for carbon fiber, why you should go for wood, which canes are good for men and women, things like that. Just having more information on the collection page. Okay. And then let's look at the product grid. So this is a pretty typical product grid, which is really good. You have the product name, you have the price. Ideally, you want the stars, like the review stars on here as well, if you have them. So that's probably the only thing I would add. Okay. Next is frequently asked questions. We want to add frequently asked questions because, again, it's important to add content on your collection pages. You can find frequently asked questions on the SERP itself. So you just Google your target keyword, and then you can look at the people also ask section. How tall should a cane be for a man? At what age do men start using a cane? These are frequently asked questions that potential customers might have, and it's good to have them at the bottom of the collection page. And the last thing is really internal links. So because there's a lack of content on this collection page, there's also a lack of opportunities to add internal links. The only internal links on this page are actually the links from the product grid. If you had a longer description at the bottom or some frequently asked questions, you could add internal links to other collection pages, to some product pages, even some blog posts. So that's the importance of adding more content to these collection pages. Okay. Next, let's look at the product pages. So the thing with product pages is it really depends on whether there's search volume for that page. If there isn't any search volume, you don't really have to add that much content. But you do have to optimize the key SEO elements, like the H1, URL, and title. They should be consistent, which they are here. This is the H1, the URL, and the title. So they are consistent, which is good for SEO. Again, when it comes to descriptions, you can keep them short. Features and benefits, we normally feature them over here. And it's nice to have features and benefits because not only do they help rankings, they also help conversions. So you want to, distinctly show the features and benefits of your product. Specifications, so we have specifications here, but it's nice to label them as these specifications. They're super helpful for users. And again, they usually help conversions. Internal links. So because of the lack of content on this page as well, there's probably very few internal linking opportunities. They do have related products at the bottom, which is really good. If there was a little bit more content, then there would be more internal linking opportunities. One thing we like to do on our product pages, though, is to internally link back to the collections pages. So if this is a carbon fiber cane, it's nice to have an internal link back to the carbon fiber collection pages. Like, oh, if you're interested in more carbon fiber canes, click this button. Or if you're interested in wooden canes, click this link. Things like that. That's how you can add some more internal links into these product pages. Okay. So frequently asked questions, we also like to put them at the bottom if they're relevant. Again, not so important if you don't intend to rank your product pages or if there's very minimal search volume for your product pages, but it's just useful to have frequently asked questions at the bottom as well. Reviews. Yeah, so I don't see any reviews on this website, maybe because there aren't any reviews. Let's look at this one. Oh yeah, so there are customer reviews here. There are two, disappeared. There seems to be a bug on this website. You might want to fix that. But yeah, it's important to have those reviews and the number of stars. It'll help conversion rate. It also actually helps rankings from what we've seen. And the last thing is schema. Let's see if they're using any schema. Yep, so they do have the product schema. They even have the aggregate rating schema here with 0 rating value and rating count. The reason schema is important is because that's what enhances the listing on the SERP. You can see the rating value here and the number of reviews. And the more real estate you take up on the SERP, the better. The higher the click-through rates, it's just better to have overall, right? So don't forget to put schema on your product pages. Okay. Next, let's look at supporting blog content. Again, you saw it at the footer earlier. That's the only way you can actually access the blog because, again, there weren't any internal links from the collection pages or the product pages, which you should probably have. But let's look at some of these blog posts. Okay. Can young people use walking canes? Okay, again, the first thing we want to look at is the 3 kings, H1, URL, and title, and they are consistent. Can young people use walking canes? Now let's just quickly check if the content is optimized for SEO. So quick scan. And yeah, the content looks pretty decent, but it's rather short. Let's try to look at another. This one should be much longer. How to choose a walking cane. Okay. So again, the content's a little short. If you actually want to rank or make this content useful, you want to really flesh this topic out, like how to choose a walking cane. You'd probably want like, okay, wooden canes versus carbon fiber canes. Like, why would you pick a wooden cane over a carbon fiber cane? Or like, men's canes versus women's canes. What's the difference, right? How to choose the height, things like that. You want to go more in depth to really, make this piece of content valuable to the user. Images, videos, and visuals. Yeah, so the only image seems to be the featured image. It would definitely help to add more images, videos, even graphs to, make this piece of content more useful and actually rank. And the last thing is product CTAs. So there are a bunch of internal links here, but they aren't exactly product CTAs that are like featured. Like, okay, if you want to buy a walking cane, click this link or click this button. That's what you want on these blog posts because that's what helps you add revenue from blog posts. But otherwise, it's pretty good. They do have some internal links here. Okay. And the last thing we want to look at is link building. So as you can see, they've done pretty well over the last 2.5 years with pretty much no link building. They're a DR 1.5 with 55 referring domains. They probably have not done any active link building. If you look at the do follow links, there's 35. And yeah, they aren't good links, right? So you can see that they've done pretty well without actively building any backlinks. So it's mostly just on-page SEO stuff, or the fact that this is a very non-competitive niche, and they've really done well in terms of like just building out the collection pages, the product pages, and giving users a lot of options. So they've done pretty well, but you can also see that there's a lot of improvements that can be made in terms of technical SEO, content, and even building a few backlinks every month will help. And they're doing 16,000 visitors a month right now. If they do some more SEO, if they make the improvements I suggested, I can easily see them getting to over 50,000 organic traffic per month and, doubling revenue as well. And yeah, that's it for now. If you enjoyed this, let me know. I'll do more of these. And yeah, I enjoy doing these things because like I enjoy discovering Shopify stores that are doing well in terms of SEO and basically investigating why they do well. Okay. Well, that's it for now. Thanks for listening. Have a good one.